Hello, footies, and welcome back to another episode of Foot in Review Shorts. Today is Wednesday, October 2nd, and we got a new team of the week to discuss. We got another lone SBC, and evolutions look like they are postponed until they are properly fixed. Also, my dear friends want to discuss Weekend League and qualifications. All that in the next 15 minutes or so. My name is John, and I am joined by the Food and Review Teddy Bear, appearing on his first Food and Review Shorts. That's a little bit too much F for me in one sentence. Hello, Chris.
Hi, John. How are you?
I'm quite well now, mate. Just watched the final match in the Champions League, and I am absolutely beat but happy.
Good stuff, mate. Good. I'm so glad it's a short episode today because after Dortmund's performance last night, I've been drinking a lot of 7-Up.
7-Up. Oh, could have been worse actually, but then let's not go there. Let's not go there. So let's start with this. Chris, how do you like the Champions League form?
Well, we're not in it, mate, so it's fine. It's actually, you're getting used to it now. I think that's the thing. When I first seen it, I was like, this is a nightmare. But now you're getting used to it. So I think, what is it, about 9 points we'll see you through, the reckon. The supercomputer's done the calculations. So FIR's just another 2 wins, and that should be them, see them through to the next round, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I think 11 is safety. So I'll hope for 11. But 3 points out of Girona is a good one for us.
Yeah, a lot of sexy games. A lot of sexy games. There's sexy games tonight, and there was a couple of sexy games last night as well. So
definitely, I quite like it, but I know I'm usually one of the first that like new things. We'll talk about that in a moment as well.
Sure.
Hey, Chris, in this show, we talk the content that got released. Shall we talk the content that got released yesterday, so October 1st?
Yeah, let's do that.
We got an 82 times 3, I think.
Yeah.
And that's it.
That was a quick one.
That definitely was a quick one. Yeah. Content felt a bit, well, can I say meager so far after release?
I think so. I think the thing is we've come from 99 rated players, as I said. I think on Friday's show, we just need to get our head around it. We're back at a new game. The game looks and feels very similar. I think last year's game was a big jump, big change, wasn't it, from the previous version with being FC. This FC 25 looks very similar to FC 24. I know there's new features, rush, etc. But I think that's maybe made us not realise that it's a brand new game. And that's why when I'm looking at the team of the week, we might be going a little bit hard on it.
We'll take care. The 82 plus triple oak rate, well, my advice would just do it. Try it now, because hey, you never know what you're going to pack. Some gold players are still very expensive, even some 82 rated. And if you want to gamble, it's before the first week league anyway. So just go for it, right?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, even, there's a content out tonight for a loan card. You might do that one. It's not super expensive, really.
I want to talk about that one because I said this week, whenever the loan came out, the first loan, that was, I think, the hero loan. I said, don't do it. It's not worth it. We got a lot of comments about that saying, hey, John, you can say it's not worth it, but actually, if you want to get qualified, cards like this might actually be really useful. Like, I didn't realize, I didn't actually think about that. Is that your take as well?
Yeah, I had one game to win tonight to actually get into Division 5, finally get out of Division 6, and I used all my loans. So Bellingham was there, and it made a difference to my team. Managed to sneak it 2-1 in the end. So, yeah, if you've got loan players, now's the ideal time to use it, because hopefully in a few months' time we're going to be awash with promo cards, and these loan cards are going to be obsolete.
That is also a fair point, but I still think 13,000 or 14,000 coins for a loan icon, it doesn't feel especially good for. I still can't recommend it, but let's just put it in there. There's a reason you could do it. You could consider it.
Yeah.
What about the... sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, 13,000, if you pull one of the bangers, you're absolutely laughing. The only thing that disappoints me is if you get a loan card and say you get the magical Ronaldo card or Ronaldinho and you go in there, at this stage of the game, people might quit on you when they see that card. So that's the problem.
You lost a loan.
Yeah, you lost a loan there. You know what I mean? I would maybe wait. If you're in weekend league with that one, that's the time to use it, because you're hoping that people won't quit out the game.
No, it's always a risk. We also got the third RTT key challenge. About 5K to do so.
5K for a mega pack. Definitely
Just do it, right?
Yeah, definitely must do that one.
Yeah.
100%. Do that one. Good luck. Hope you get something. I've done the hybrid leagues, hybrid nations, got the rare mega pack, and got absolutely zero so far. So
I haven't got anything from it here. I've got a pretty good team, but most of the players are bought.
yeah, I mean, I think if you're hoping for just that little bit of luck. I think the thing is, though, if you get that, we always say if you get that 86 flying player or even a Rafinha 84 rated, that can make a difference to your team. A bit of pace.
Definitely. Let's do the RTTK challenge. A recommendation is just to do them. And that means work through all content. What we did get this night when I woke up in the middle of the night, Chris, thinking about you, of course, I suddenly realized there was a coin and a 15,000 coin pack in store. But
Yeah.
that was early.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even know it was, in our packs, wasn't it? Again, I didn't see it. I actually seen it on X, and someone had put that they didn't have enough coins to actually do that pack. They had 0 coins. So if you're in there, you haven't noticed that it's in under, I think it's my pack section, which was obsolete for most of last year when it first came out. There's a couple of packs in there that you would consider doing.
Yeah, it's basically the packs they recommend. They said they made it specially for you, but honestly, it's just for everyone.
Yeah, and last year I think I did the first pack. There was 2 packs came out. I did the first one, and then I think that one just lay there till the end of the game. It's probably still sitting there if I was to load the game up.
Yeah, it wasn't too big of a thing. Let's dive into the team of the week. Team of the week. Are we already in number 3? We're already in number 3,
yeah.
mate. Time flies when you are having fun. Couple of players which are really expensive coming out of the gates. Martinez.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to tell something about Martinez?
Well, Martinez, he is always look at the weak foot. So 4-4, he's 4-4. Hey, decent looking card. He's got rolls, which John could tell me is a false 9, which I find a little bit surprising. I'm not sure he is that type of player in real life. But the thing about that one is it's 292,000 coins. It's dropped. We first came on the show, it was 300,000. But then if you were to look at what his gold card costs, I think it's a lot cheaper, that one. I actually have his gold card. I was lucky enough to pack him untradeable. It's under 50,000. So at this stage of the game, with these cards only being like a +1 upgrade, you maybe wouldn't consider it. I don't see too much in that 90 rated striker to go, you know what, he's a must do. Good, decent shooting at 89 in terms of the face stats. Is there anything there, John, from a coach's point of view that you think to yourself, yeah, that's a must do or must buy?
I think talking about Martinez for a second, I think the finesse shot plus on him with the power shot and the technical dribbling, like really cool card. But I 100% agree with you. Why pay 290,000 for an inform? That's just marginally, like really marginally better than the 89 rated card, who is about 50K on the current market. So honestly, if you're playing a Serie A team, he's one of the best strikers you can get. But I'd go for the non-inform, unless you pack him, of course. That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean, a card that you've pointed out to me is the Stanway card. She plays for Bayern Munich in the ladies' Bundesliga, 37,000. She's 3-3. She's had a decent boost to her pace. The only thing that concerns me a little bit about her is she's 5'4" in the middle of the park, so she has a CDM. Role wise, John, decent roles. She's deep line playmaker or holding plus.
Yeah, there aren't too many holding plus players actually in the game. So that's one of the reasons she stood out for me. Mm-hmm. Of course, last year she was also pretty good. But we talk about the good game cards, and I think I said it on one of the shows this week. But honestly, we do so many shows now, so I'm confused when I exactly said it. So if you think I'm wrong there, go to futinreview.com/wrong. But I said there are an insane amount of midfield specials coming out that are almost 80 rated on every single stat, which is very early if we talk about power curve. And it really sort of stands out. And this is another example. I mean, sure, defending is 79 and physique is 78. But honestly, a center defensive midfielder with 88 dribbling, if you look at the dribbling stats, she's got 90 dribbling. She's got low composure, but else, those are some insane stats on her card. And sure, she isn't strong, That's definitely true. But holding plus plus on the card, she does look really cool. It's an interesting card for me to see. And I think there are plenty of cards now coming out that hit the right stats, hit the right play styles, but are overlooked because they aren't considered meta yet.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I think Harry Kane is another one of those cards, which isn't fast, but he's got the finesse plus, insane finishing for this time of the year in the game. Definitely worth checking cards like that out. So I'd recommend just clicking a little bit further and checking and looking if how a card could fit you.
Yeah.
But what do you think about the Dutch speedster?
Well, it's a battle of centre backs, isn't it? You've got two centre backs there in Eder Militao, and you've got Van de Ven there as well. The Van de Ven is coming in at 320,000 coins at this point, and Eder Militao, he's coming at 380,000. So not a huge difference in terms of coin value, but the Van de Ven is 84 rated. Centre back had a great game against Man United. I'm not upset some of our Man United supporting friends in the Discord and the Patreon as well. He looks really good, John. I think the only thing is his agility and balance. Is that a fair representation of this player because he is a speedster?
Well, the weird thing about this card, if you compare it to real life, still all goes for his non-informed card. It's 82 acceleration. Wait, what? Did you see that sprint he made? That's not only top speed that made him be fast, it's also his acceleration, which is not. So I think this is actually a worse representation of the real life player than it actually is. And I still think he's very good as center defender. A lengthy player with this speed, all the right center defenders stop rolls on him. Yeah, this card might be one of those cards when he's getting really annoying now. It's just lucky or unlucky, depends how you look on it, that he doesn't have any playstyle pluses yet.
6'4", John. So 6'4". So he's a big guy, tall, and 84 rated. So do you buy that card? And it's a lot of coins to invest at this stage of the game. But maybe one you want to keep your eye on, because if an evolution comes out for a centre back and he's 84 rated, I know he's super quick, but maybe there could be a chance to boost some other stats in there.
Again, the difference between the non-inform and the inform isn't huge, +1 on most stats, right?
Mm-hmm.
The non-inform is an 82 rated, 60,000 coins, 62 currently. Again, I would not buy any of these informs necessarily. If you pack them, that's cool. If you're looking at one of those players, the non-informers are probably the best buy to do, in my honest opinion. Mm-hmm. I think if he was like 50k or 80k more, like double the price, something like that, then you can say, okay, that makes sense. But like 4 times the price almost, or 3.5 times the price, I'd stay away from buying these cards. Nevertheless, it's a damn good card, right?
Yeah, for sure. Definitely, for sure. There is one cheap beast in this team, which we both
Jack Butland.
Well, Super Jack Butland. He is absolutely a gorgeous man there. There is wee Fashion Sakala as well, ex-Rangers player. So it's very ex-Rangers heavy or Rangers player heavy. But the player I'm looking at was David. Jonathan David, I think his name is. League One player. The thing that stands out for me, John, is a 5-star weak foot.
Yep.
And his stats as well look like they're pretty much all in the right place. If Ingve was here, he might say his agility and his balance is a little bit low, but shooting at 84, pace at 86, you know what I mean? And a 5-star weak foot, this game at the moment is not really all about pace, is it?
No, it doesn't hurt to have any pace, but he's still pretty fast. He's also, I think you can make him controlled explosive on a finisher or an artist. I would probably do a finisher on him. But if you put a finisher on this card, he is still 84, 88 on the base. But his shooting will go to 98 finishing, 96 attacking position. And his agility would go to 87 and a 79 balance. So you sort of fix that. But his dribbling goes to 94. He gets a +12 on dribbling, right? Mm-hmm. So honestly, give this card a finisher in his 5-star weak foot. That's a pretty versatile card. The only thing is you need a League One team to actually be able to fit them in, because Canadians aren't the most easy fittable players.
Mm-hmm. But I do think, though, John, that one there at that price at 14,000. So the worst case scenario of 13,000 at the moment, if you have to quick sell that, you'll get 10,000 coins back. So it's going to cost you 3,000 coins. Worst case scenario. My feeling is, though, there will be potentially an evolution there that might fit this card, because he's not super quick, is he? But he's got that 5-star weak foot, which is something for a player like me I'm always looking for. Not being a skiller, I just think that's a really good card, that one.
No, I 100% agree. I think even buying a couple of these cards isn't a bad risk to take. Right?
Definitely.
If you have coins. I mean, I just checked. I got 800 coins left. So for me, it's not an option. But hey, I'm fully decked for Weekend League now. Safe to say, I think Week of the League, like Team of the Week, decent. I don't think there are the top tier players which you are opening pack for, even if you pack Martinez at school, right? But it's not like you pack an Mbappe or something.
Yeah.
And I think, for example, the Gabriel Martinelli is also a pretty cool card. But again, 3-star weak foot on the low side at this stage of the game, even. So
yeah, it's the same with the is it Retin you call her, the Norwegian female. Yeah. I mean, what is it with Norwegian players on 3-star weak foot? They've all got them. Odegaard's got it. Haaland's got it. You know, that looks a really good card until you look at the 3-star weak foot. That's my only concern with that one.
Yeah, there are exceptions though, because I now use Haaland, and indeed 3-star weak foot. But that guy you can't get him off the ball. Mm-hmm. He's really fast, and his shot is just like hammering it in. So you can get away with a 3-star weak foot. But even then, it's still a liability. What is cool, though, about the right-hand card is that she's got the inside forward plus. And again, that's something we haven't seen too much either so far. That is, but I think the normal card has it as well. I think that is actually a pretty cool cool card to do. But the normal card, again, 15,000. You know what? Just get, if you want to try her, get the non-inform. Yeah. I wish to do a little bit more tuning, like give the inform a boost, sure, but do something else with him. Did they Butland save the penalty? I don't know. Give him a penalty. There isn't any, but you know what I mean. Mm-hmm. Van de Ven is a sprinter. Gave a great match. Give him something non-defense on his stats extra, something like that.
Yeah, I mean the Peugeot card as well. I mean, I happened to put on that game. I mean, they absolutely hammered the team they were playing, Barcelona. And again, she's got the inside forward as well. Maybe a little bit pricey at 104,000 for a 88 rated striker. But again, 90 acceleration, so you've got the pace here, 90 dribbling, 89 shooting. Aggression is in the red there, surprisingly. So she will, if you ask her nicely, she'll probably hand you the ball back. But that's a decent looking card as well.
Yeah, but again, the non-inform is 10k. Mm-hmm. So not that, like, there's almost no difference. And she's got the inside forward, but the inside forward plus. So I think that's definitely a difference with Brighton that has a plus on it. Yeah. You do notice that difference. So, but nevertheless, cool cards. Curious what we're back in this Weekend League. Talking about Weekend League, you've got something, you got a beef with me or my takes on Weekend League. And you said, if we do this show, I have to talk about it. Luckily, I'm giving you 90 seconds. No, I'm serious. No. Just go ahead. Take it away. You want to talk this out on air? Go for it, man.
So, we've had a huge discussion on our Discord and private as well, John and I, about my thoughts on Weekend League and the changes that it's went. So it's went from 10 games, 4 wins in 10 games. So it's went from a 40% win rate to a 60% win rate, 3 and 5. So, you know, my feeling was this is absolutely disgraceful. I know John's got a slightly different take on it. So we've looked through it. We waited. The game's come out. I know I've got enough points to qualify for Weekend League, but I've not done it yet. So I'll give you my thoughts on it, John. So my first issue was the timing of it. So a lot of guys in our Discord, but a lot of guys out there, I bought the Ultimate Edition. Regular Weekend League player, really enjoy playing Weekend League. Very disappointed to see that the Ultimate Edition was already bought, and then with a few days to go in the game, they brought this out, which for me, I feel is very unfair.
Okay. You want a counter argument? Or?
Of course, mate. Of course.
Let's make it a counter argument. I know people will just spam my DMs again if I say this. But you could actually just return the game still at that moment, even if you pre-ordered it. You could just go to the PlayStation Store and Xbox Store and you know what? I'm not in for this. Cancel your pre-order. No worries. Also, I think FC is one of the only games where a pre-order gives you like a pretty good advantage time-wise. Any other game, just don't pre-order it. Wait until it comes out. See if it's actually a broken game, because most of the games are these days when they come out. Then decide to buy it. And if you buy the online version, you can just buy it any time of the day. There's no stock. There's no risk. And I think it's not the first time this happened. I'm not saying I agree with it, but you could still refund it as well. So the timing didn't feel for me that bad. I was glad they got some information out. But you see, they're like going. It's like pretty crowded schedule, right? They announced this, get the game out. They announced how we have to qualify for the pro tournaments once the game was already out. For example, a couple of days. They're making things up as we go. Still, I think still experiment with it, and I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. But we all know people didn't buy the game to play Weekend League in a pre-order. They bought the game to get early access, get some free cards, get the FIFA points loaded up, and got the 46 or 4800. I don't even know exactly how much it was points to get started. That was the main reason. That's all we got. It's the same as saying, yeah, but it says also you get an extra Evo slot. It didn't say you get an extra Evo slot. You get an extra evolution. You got an extra evolution to do, included in the game. Some people are like, if I knew I couldn't evolve two people at the same time, I wouldn't have bought it. They never said that, actually. That was our interpretation of it. And also in all the patch notes before this, they said more information about the new modes will be released soon before the game comes out. And they did that. If the timing isn't perfect, I agree. But I also still think if it's that important, you shouldn't be pre-ordering for you, because you're not the target base for the pre-order anyways. And if it's that much of a kick to the shins, you could have still cancelled.
Okay, fair enough, John.
Vote with your wallet. Vote with your wallet.
The thing is, for me though, John, is that when I read the notes, and the notes were they wanted to take the stress out of Weekend League, the people who were qualifying and were not having a good experience. Okay, so that was in the notes. I'm right in saying that. I did listen. The issue is now, though, they've moved the stress from the Weekend League to the qualifiers. Wanted to make 6 and 10. That would sound a lot more palatable than 3 and 5, because we've got a note here from someone who said that they almost qualified for Weekend League. They were winning 5-1 in the last game for them to qualify, and they got a disconnect. So what you're doing is you're actually taking the stress from the Weekend League, where people have got 20 games to play. And you're okay,
15.
But at the time it was 20, wasn't it? Yeah? But you had 20 games to play, and if you won 3 or 4 or 6 or whatever, that was your level. But actually now they're making it far more stressful, the qualifiers. Disconnects are so much more important because they've reduced the number of games, and I find that a wee bit disingenuous to what they say then. That's my problem with them.
So I 100% agree with you on the disconnects. And I think the system we have in place about disconnects isn't the most honest, best solution, fairest solution, right? So agree there, it happens. But that would be it sucked as well if you get your 20 disconnect, for example. So that's always been a problem. And I feel sorry for the person sending in that message. But it's not the first time something like that happened. I also lost a draft final. We had disconnects playing finals in the Eredivisie live, even on television, right? So it sucks, and I feel sorry for it. But I don't think that's necessarily the mode's fault. That makes sense. Talking about the stress for the weekend league, that's not what they said, Chris. What's actually in the note is that they want to make champs the most competitive mode there's been, as they were intended to be. So they want to make sure the best players get in champs and face each other. A 20-0 was really common last year, because not everyone, but most people got in, and it wasn't a fair playing field, which made for some people the whole experiences a bad experiences because you just got hammered. This year they say, okay, we'll put in 15 matches in Weekend League, making sure that every match counts. We give every single win a different tier of rewards as well. So we get 15 ranks, 15 wins. Every match is a final. and it's highly competitive. The chance a pro actually plays a pro is way larger than ever before, which means a pro getting 15 this year is actually a pretty cool achievement. Which last year, if they got anything below 20-0, what's going on here? That was the intent, and that also means you got to raise the gate to actually get in, Gems. I don't know if I agree on that decision, but if the intent is to make Gems a higher competitive mode, then you got to gatekeep it to make sure the most competitive players come in.
But you have that mode already, John. You have that mode in Division 3. Because if you don't get to Division 3, you don't get to take part in any of the pro tournaments. You already have a pro tournament mode. So actually what you're doing is you're excluding the vast majority of players. Now, a lot of people might get through there, but there'll be a lot of people who do qualify for Weekend League, won't get in simply because they want to make it harder for a harder league for the pros. Well, actually, you've already got that in place.
No, so I don't necessarily agree there either. I think Div 3 is what they said now for qualification because the tournament starts, the actual pro scene starts this week.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have much time to get up in the ladder, which means if you put it any higher than Division 3, we're pretty unhealthy for the players to actually get higher than that. We'll see that going back to Elite next season. Like not next year, but next FIFA season. 100% you got to get Elite to make sure you get into the pro competition.
But you still have that. You'll still have that mode where the pros can play against each other. Yeah. So take someone like myself who qualified for most weekend leagues last year. I very rarely come up against a pro player. You're lucky if I met somebody once in a blue moon.
Yeah, I'm probably a little bit worse on matchmaking in my locale.
Because your elo is going to be a lot higher than mine. But where my elo was, there was very rarely going to be a pro that you're going to meet at my level. So it wasn't like loads of pros were playing against easy players like myself.
Well, I don't necessarily want to go into if you're an easy player or not.
No, but I mean an average player. Let's call it an average player, John, then.
But I do think that there's plenty of times last year where we've been training pros. For example, we played Weekend League because that's where the rewards are. And I rather have a pro play on a high level scene, get good rewards, and spend the money on the coaching scene than actually spend on points, right? So I think that's not a healthy mode to be in. I think this makes the weekends much more interesting for streamers to watch. If you're in, it actually gets rewarded. I said last week, I felt really good qualifying. Yes, it was far easier than I expected, right? I went 3-0 and I was like, okay, let's give the last two away. Even gave them away, Chris. I even went to the dark side.
Good for you, John. I like that.
But and we talked yesterday about it on the big show where most people said, okay, qualification actually wasn't that hard at this stage because most pros and stuff probably qualified last week already.
Yes. So actually you've had that extra extended period to qualify, haven't you?
Yeah, and you got multiple chances to do that, and it isn't that much work to actually get your points together this year to be able to qualify. I mean, I still get it; it's pressure, but I do think that pressure is actually a sort of a safeguard to not ruin your weekend. Because if you can't really deal with those 5 qualification matches, you're not going to enjoy those 15 matches in your weekend. There's just no way anymore. And I qualified. I don't honestly know if I have time this weekend. That's the second thing. But I'm looking forward to the experiences, and it could very much be that most of the people are just that qualified are just 5 wins as the average, for example. Could very much be the case. But that also means if someone gets 15-0, and I'm talking about current generation consoles, and who's listening to this show, not play on old gen, say I went 15-0. I don't think that's a fair comparison either. But you go on the new gen consoles, current gen consoles, and you go 15-0 there, for example, I think that could be a huge achievement, which not many people actually make this year. I'm looking forward to seeing that as well. So I get both sides of the medal. I do think we have to wait how it actually experiences. But so far, I think most people, and we've run polls this week on Instagram, on our TikTok, most people said actually was looking very much not looking forward to qualification or to facing the pressure. But in all honesty, most people said I qualified and it was actually far less stressful than I imagined. So, and I'm hoping the weekend will be better. But I think this could be a very sweaty, extremely sweaty, hard weekend for most players that get in. And I'm not sure we want to do that every week.
And I think the extended period has made qualifying easier, John, because I think people have probably if you're in a higher division, it took you a while to get those rival points, to get those, the points, 1,000 points we were to get. If you're a pro player, you're going to get them pretty quickly. So I think those guys have qualified. And I think what happened, you'll find is next week when it's condensed, you get your points and you can qualify. That'll be the true test of where it is, because I think the players who are probably through already are probably the better players. But the biggest issue for me, John, and this is the thing that worries me about it, and is people who are on a show about the game, who are in a community about the game, is the longevity. Because again, the person who wrote is the reason that they build their squad was because they built their squad to play weekend league. That's what they liked enjoying doing. And that's my concern as well. The thought was that rival rewards would be better. Well, I've looked at it.
They are. Mate.
No, they're not, John. I'm going to tell you that.
Division 4 rewards are so much better than ever before.
So if you're a Division 4 player and you don't qualify for weekend league, okay? Hear me out, right? So you don't qualify for weekend league, you will get 500 champ points, 30,000 coins, which is decent, a mega pack, 40 75 player pack. There's 2 packs there. An 82 team of the week player, an 84 rare player as well, and 1 rare gold card, right? And FC 24, when you qualified and got 9 wins, because it was easier to get there in a Division 4 player, you got 2 prime gold packs, 2 mega packs, a small prime gold pack, 2 rare gold packs, 1,250 points, which got you straight in to qualify, 11,500 XP points, so you don't even get to boost the season, 25,000 coins, so it's 5,000 less, but a rare player pack, 1 ultimate pack, which is tradable, 1 85 rare player, and 2 84 picks. My concern, John, is if you don't qualify for weekend league, how do you build your team? And if it's okay now, but when something like the Eusebio Icon SBC comes out, the weekend league was what I used to build that player to strengthen my team. So if you don't have that, how am I meant to do that SBC? And if I don't have the ability to strengthen my team, why should I stay in the game?
Looking at the midfielders that came out this week on SBC level and unlockable milestone players, unlockable players, like even by just playing some squad battles, you could get pretty good players. Even the fact that Steven Berghuis is so cheap that I had to recommend him on the show says enough about the player strengths on these SBC for like 20k. If you get 40, 75 plus players, you can do both SBCs from those.
Mm-hmm. But what I'm saying, John, is I'm talking about the chance to own one of those prime players. So when you actually get to November,
no, but
December
I think
time,
we're 1 week in. Mm-hmm. If you save up those pack, or you just pack us, well, these are tradable players as well, right?
Some are tradable. Some of the packs tradable. Some aren't, of course.
But there's plenty of options to get there. For example, I mean, I was lucky. I got the Griezmann tradable, and I got the Frankie de Jong tradable last week for my rival rewards. Which is like, okay, that's a good day. I mean, that helps. You only need to be lucky once there. And I do think they talked about it on yesterday's show as well. Squad battles, pretty good rewards. Just 12 matches or 14 matches in total now, right? Go for play squad battles. There's plenty of ways. I think the SBCs, especially looking at the objective players, you can get an Otamendi, which is really good player at this stage of the game for playing an hour of FIFA. Right, and you can do it in Rush. You can't do this one in Rush, but you can do most objectives even in Rush, for example. Mm. I think there's more ways than ever to be able to do everything. And this is, I think, also a topic for Friday's show. The big issue is last year, everyone, if they've had time, they could do everything in this game and grind out this game, like finalize, right? Get level 30 in 3 weeks. I don't think that's an option anymore. There's so much to do that you have to decide which path you're going to take. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. I just think it's like this week I'm playing Rush, I'm playing squad battles, I'm playing rivals. If Champs comes out this weekend, there's a big chance I'm not playing squad battles from next week on because I have to make a decision. And if you're okay with that, I think there's like if I see the development of the teams, I've seen some insane teams, but even if you look like there's plenty of cards also in the current team, like the current promos that aren't expensive, like 10k. We just talked about a team of the week where David is 11k. There's plenty of teams or players to get you up a next level. And once you get to that next level and you start facing all the players and you start growing, I think this is actually a perfect game to focus on your gameplay while growing your team exponentially with it. And if you're a very good player, yeah, the chances are you outperform everyone on the team, but you not face them. I think that's something in 2 weeks you won't face those players anymore.
But John, that point is though, is when the Eusebio SBC comes out, or whatever icon SBC comes out, and you go and look at your club, and you've got 84 Jonathan David in your club, or an 85 rated, and they're looking for a 90 rated squad or whatever, an 88 rated squad because it's a 92 rated card. How are people meant to do that? And then that brings me back to the final point is, for me, the reason I think they've done this, and I think everybody who's been on the show went, they're going to change it anyway, let's be honest, because casuals are not going to enjoy this part of the game. And if people don't want to qualify for Weekend League and the engagement goes down, they'll change it, which makes you think, why change it in the first instance? If you cannot get these players because you're playing Weekend League, and from my point of view, I don't think rewards are that better, is you reach for the points gun and you start putting points on to try and get players. And that is a thing for me, is always in the back of my mind, when EA do something like this, they're doing it so that people buy points.
I mean, there's no way for me to agree or disagree on that. I get that that's a tendency to say, and it's hard for me to know EA and it's saying that I disagree with that. But I'm also, when I'm not looking at the fact, I think if you're a Div 5 player in 3-4 weeks, and there's plenty of, and you'd be smart with managing your team, you got a pretty good team. And maybe you won't get to Eusebio, but you probably won't be facing Eusebio either. And the best way to get those cards is to try to be better at the game. And I'm pretty happy that this year the focus is more on getting the most out of your gameplay instead of getting the most out of the menus.
The problem with that, John, is we say it's not about the rewards, but the guys yesterday had a long conversation about the fact is that Rush could die a death because the rewards aren't good enough. So
also because people just play to get those SP points.
Mm-hmm.
And honestly, if squad battles don't get rewards, people won't play that either.
Yeah, that's the problem. So what we're saying is, on one hand, is we don't play for rewards, but we're actually saying is a mode of game which people really quite like, actually, when people play it properly, the rush game, and don't try to be greedy or rubber band it or try and get blue cards. The reason that people won't play that anymore is because the rewards aren't good enough. So people do play for rewards, and as I say, I just worry about the longevity of the casual player or the player who's average and is struggling for Weekend League. Will there be the desire to keep grinding the game like there was before?
There's just one way to find that out, and that is to keep mentioning it and keep monitoring it in the next weeks, I guess. Mm-hmm. And also, if you have feedback on this or you got a decent opinion about it, keep it PG, keep it family-friendly opinion, because I've seen some opinions which I can't share, guys, and I'm fine with some of the messages, and I'll just block you anyways. But you can't send me messages like some of I've seen and expect me to read them up on the show. But if you have a proper opinion and you can put it in, we'll definitely read it out on the show.
Yeah, and I'm just going to back you up, John. I'm going to back you up on this. And it's to say that I know for a fact that John does not get any rewards from EA. His team may look like he's on the gold list, but trust me, we don't get anything from EA on this show. So if you message
I worked hard for my 500,000.
Exactly. If somebody emails up and says, John, you're doing it because you work for EA, it's absolute false.
Then I wouldn't be sitting here with a finer shirt and complaining 8 years about getting the Kuip in the game. We have that a long time ago as well. Thank you all for listening, Chris. Thank you for this discussion. Good to see you. We're still friends.
Oh, 100%, mate.
This food review short wasn't short, so I'll have to see how much content we get on a Thursday, if I even make a Thursday show. But we will be back Friday, at least, with episode 227, I think. And I'll at least be joined by Ingvi. Maybe joined by Chris. Who knows? Could be Chris.
Definitely.
If we're still friends.
Yeah, of course I'll be here.
Send us your comments at Food and Review everywhere on all socials. At Food and Review Podcast, of course, on TikTok. We'll read them all. I can't promise I reply to everything, but I will promise I read them all. And of course, Twitter at Food and Review, you name it. Also, go to foodandreview.com/you're-wrong or /wrong, I should say, actually, to notify me if I did something wrong. But keep it friendly. I'm human after all. Chris, thank you so much. Hope you like these extras very long shows now. We can't really call them short. We'll just call them episode 227, maybe. Chris, see you this Friday, mate. One thing left for us to do.
Drop it.
Drop it.
You.